This is Spotlight Omaha. Spotlight Omaha is a local podcast that highlights local businesses and influential movers and shakers in the Omaha business community. Spotlight Omaha is brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Now, from the Pyramid Contractor Studios, the host of Spotlight Omaha, Jimmy Allen.
Good morning, everybody. And after a week off, we are back here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. If you are a business owner and you're not showing up the top of Google searches, maybe you need help with search engine optimization, you need a website built, or you want to engage your audience on social media, check out pixelfiremarketing.com and let Dan and his team benefit you with all of that. Join us in the Pyramid Contractor Studio. Today is Sue Maier with There Dump That Omaha. Thanks for being here, Sue. I appreciate it.
Jimmy, thank you for the opportunity.
I love the name. Been There Dump That. Can you tell people what you guys do at Been There Dump That?
Absolutely. We are, my husband Peter and I run the business. We're starting our 7th year. We like to say that we take an industry that's kind of dirty and make it kind of clean. So residential friendly in terms of protecting the job site surface with wood boards, sweeping up after, and just really offering a fairly new alternative to waste disposal in the city.
You guys offer 6-yard and 20-yard containers and everything in between there. But what I loved about the reviews on your website and your Google searches is everybody talked about how much you protected their property. And you mentioned the boards and things like that. Why is it such a big deal for you guys at Been There Dump That to protect the homeowner's property?
Sure. Well, I know I've rented dumpsters in the past, and devastating when the dumpster's pulled off your driveway and there are scratches or stains,
broken concrete.
Yeah. So it's really become a signature. We don't want anybody to worry about that. They've got enough to worry about with their projects. So just putting those 5 wood boards down, it's really become a signature. And a lot of people do refer to it when they work with us.
I think a lot of people, when we think giant containers, they think large work sites or construction. You guys are focusing more on residential. Why is that the niche for you guys to kind of focus on?
It's actually half and half.
Sure.
50% residential, 50% commercial. So we're all consumers. Anyone who's disposing of anything. So on the homeowner side, an estate sale, maybe a death in the family and they're selling a home, just a fun renovation for themselves. On the commercial side, everyone from realtors to property management companies, disaster restoration, roofers with a lot of these storms lately, roofing and siding companies, deck builders, you name it.
When we talk about renting a 6-foot container versus a 6-yard container versus a 20-yard container, what is the biggest difference that people can expect from the smaller containers versus the larger containers?
Sure. And we only have a couple 6s on site, and they're usually out with contractors who are filling them with heavy concrete and stone.
Oh, okay.
So we've got 10, 15, and 20-yard bins. They're all built they're solid steel, and they're all built a little higher up. They're not as wide and long and low to the ground like a traditional construction container. They will built that way so we don't take up as much room on a driveway. We can get down narrow alleys. We can park in really tight spaces. That's kind of the residential friendly tag there. But they're solid steel. We are constantly painting them. We're starting year 7, so the equipment gets a little old.
Sure,
it's
dinged up and nicked here and there.
It's been worked over, so we're constantly painting them, and we don't want people to even know we're 7 years old.
Right.
We want them to think that we just opened.
It's shiny and new.
Shiny and new.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Is that something you guys were surprised by because this is year 7 of this venture, like you just mentioned? With how often you guys would have to do that? Or is that something when you open the business, you're like, we're probably going to have to maintain these pretty often?
Yeah, we knew that. We're actually a Canadian-based franchise that we discovered while we were on vacation with our kids and left our corporate jobs, put funding together, and 3 months later, we were in Canada training.
Wow.
And we've never looked back. So that's kind of a signature of the company is the driveway protection, maintaining your equipment throughout the years. We also do a post-project sweep up. So once we pull the dumpster up off the job site and put it back on our truck, we sweep anything under it, including a metal sweeper that picks up roof nails and screws and all of that.
Saving tires. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We don't want anyone to know we were even there.
Sure.
That's the whole idea is once we're gone, they don't even know that there was a dumpster there.
I want to talk about the franchise model because that's a discussion we're having a ton in this room. And a lot of people are going from being a pharmacist to installing blinds, going from
Right.
an IT job to being a roofer, because they took over a model that they didn't necessarily have to be an expert in. They could
Yes.
hire people in that field. Why was that the right move for you guys?
Well, quite honestly, my husband was going to leave his job that brought us here to Omaha, and I was doing freelance marketing PR work.
Mhm.
He just became obsessed with dumpsters. A friend of us had told us about it. It's an easy business model. You need
Sure.
dumpsters, drivers, a dump site, and customers,
And trucks.
you're just doing it
Yeah.
over and over again.
And it's always needed.
So my husband literally was going to buy a truck and a couple dumpsters and try to give it a
Sure.
go. We were so fortunate that we found out about a franchise. We didn't even think of franchise. And so that's why we just jumped on it when we could. I love meeting all of these small business owners
Sure.
who are doing the same thing. It's an interesting time in the world. These franchises give people an opportunity to be their own business owners. I love it.
I want to go back to Peter. Your husband's name's Peter.
Mhm.
I want to go back to his obsession for a minute, because that seems to be the jumping off point for most entrepreneurs. They find something, they become obsessed with it, and they try to become the best at it. What was your response when he said, "Honey, we're getting into
Man.
trash"?
I joke to people, I never thought I'd have the word dump in my email address. But
Sure.
that is my life now, Jimmy. I
love that.
He's not a risk taker. I trusted him. And I
Do you mind
thought-
me asking what he did before this?
Yeah, he worked in sales.
Okay.
Lozier Corporation.
Oh, yeah, that would bring you
headquartered
to
here.
Omaha
That's what
for
brought
sure.
us
Yeah.
here. And my background's marketing, PR. I worked in the hotel industry for over 25 years
Mhm.
in public relations in Chicago. So we both bring a good skill set. He's sales and the numbers guy. I do more of the marketing, PR, networking. But I just thought, whatever, let's do it. And we're a little older. And so it was actually really fun for our kids to see us reinvent ourselves.
Sure, absolutely.
Midlife. I mean, I think it's a really good lesson for them that you can do this. And Peter just said, gosh, I wish we had started our own business. So no, it's been hilarious. We have fun with it. And
it's really encouraging to me when I see somebody be able to get out of their comfort zone,
mhm.
and you can't help but notice you're smiling when you're talking about this business and how much you've enjoyed it. What is something you didn't know about this industry when you started that you know after maybe going through training in Canada
Oh, brother.
and 7 years of the
Oh,
day-to-day operations?
that's a good one. Just, I guess, human behavior. We're
I don't know what I thought you were going to say, but that
Yeah.
is the best response you possibly
I
could have
think
given.
human behavior. I mean, we're all interesting.
Yeah.
What we throw away, what we consume, just the way we approach people. And that's why I try to keep it lighthearted. I say that we're not brain surgeons here.
At the end of the day, it's
providing-
trash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're providing hopefully a very clean product, the best service possible, so we can make this an easy process for anybody. Because quite honestly, a lot of people we talk to are going through a tough time. They've had a
Sure.
death in the family, so they have to clean out mom and dad's homes or something else, and it can be a pretty emotional, actually
Conversation, yeah.
conversation and decision for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You guys offer same-day delivery.
yeah,
Why is that such a big deal, and how often is that a conversation? Because I assume most people
yeah.
they need a container, and then they're like, well, we'll schedule it for Saturday. Are there a lot of people that are needing it? Hey, it's Saturday and we need it here today.
I almost feel like we're kind of a point of purchase display type of
Sure.
retailer.
That's got to be a little surprising, right?
That was. I like in my PR work. I was all about securing a story quickly, so that that fast turnover is something that I enjoy.
Mhm.
But time is so valuable.
Sure.
Time is money. So if someone knows that they can get something last minute, because I don't know about you, I don't plan well. These folks
Same
who
team.
do, yeah, these folks who call and say, could I have it on? I figure it's that day. They'll say, no, June 7th. I say, I am so impressed with you.
Yeah, I forgot
that you
June was a
planned this
month.
well. I don't. But again, it's trying to ease the whole process. We've got a contractor who works with us now, worked with another company, and they said, what we love is that we can text you, and within a couple hours, you've got a dumpster out there. They said in the past, we had to anticipate when the bins would be full and a week out and kind of contact them to say, in about a week, we'll need those swaps. So it's just
How do you guys handle that and manage that? Is it just we have a drive-by situation where people just check out the dumpsters? Is it a call situation? How do you monitor
in
that
terms of
portion?
picking
Like
up and
picking up and
delivering.
making sure the container's not all the way full in the middle of a
Oh,
job, things like
no,
that.
that's a good question. We homeowners, a lot of people are terrific. They'll say, I went a little bit over to the top. Is that
Sure.
okay? And we say, you are terrific. We ask that it stay at the height of the bin. Because we do tarp it to put it back on the truck, and we don't want debris flying all over the highway and
Sure.
hitting
Can't imagine
cars.
that would be a lawsuit or anything.
That would not be fun. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Not yet. So, I mean, we kind of trust people. We've worked with a lot of the contractors and homeowners we work with are repeat customers, which is the biggest compliment we can get. We love
Absolutely.
working with people over and over, and so they get it.
We're catching up with Sue Maier. Been There, Dump That Omaha here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramid Contractors. When we talk about doing business in Omaha, we mentioned it's in your bio. You're from Chicago originally. Your husband's from Milwaukee. Bears and Packers in the same household. We won't get into that. But when we talk about doing business in Omaha, what's the biggest difference do you think doing business here versus a bigger city like Chicago?
Sure. We tell people Omaha's a hidden gem. It's
I agree.
becoming less hidden, I must say.
Sure.
In the 14 years we've been here, there's actually traffic jams now, which is exciting for me because I was used to that.
I'm glad somebody's enjoying that.
Yeah, I know you are so funny. But no, it's a great size city to run a business. There's so many entrepreneurs here.
That's a great point.
And so it's just there's an excitement in the air about that, and everyone is willing to help others. So
Surprising?
I adore. Well, I guess a little bit.
Sure.
But we're all Midwesterners,
Good
and
point.
I just love the entrepreneurship and the partnership and support here.
I say this a lot on air, but the thing that has surprised me the most about doing this is how often we get somebody in here that is a roofer, that is a deck builder, that is a container facilitator, whoever it is. It's like, oh, I send business to so-and-so that's on paper my direct competition, but I'm so busy or I can't have time.
Yeah.
And coming into this, I was like, oh, I can't wait to get into the nitty gritty, cutthroat. Everybody's out for the almighty dollar.
Right.
And it has just been such the opposite of that. And I can't help but feel that's an Omaha thing. Do you feel that way as well?
I do. And you know what? There's enough business out there for all of us.
Sure.
If we can't service someone, if they're out of our actual delivery service area, we always try to refer them to a few other companies. And it comes back to us too.
Sure.
We had a company last
Which
week.
I think gets missed the most is if you give, it's probably coming back as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we can all benefit from it.
You mentioned your service area, and Steven on LinkedIn wants to know how far does Been There, Done That Omaha go out of the Omaha service area? Do they come to Fremont?
I wish we did.
Okay.
We don't. We handle the entire Omaha metro area, including Council Bluffs. We'll go up to about 25 miles. So Plattsmouth, Springfield, Ashland, Fremont, I think is a little
it's about
further
33.
out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's near. I'm still 14 years later. I'm not sure exactly where everything is, but we have a counterpart who just opened in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay. So if you're in the Lincoln area, we'd love to send you to those guys. Do you mind plugging them? Who is that?
Been There, Dump That Lincoln.
Okay, perfect.
Nebraska.
So check that on socials and the website. What is the biggest area for growth for Been There, Dump That Omaha over the next 2 to 3 years?
That's a great question. We don't work with home builders as much because they need a dumpster to sit there for months on end.
Sure.
And it's really not our business model. So remodelers, but I think roofing companies, because we can offer that same day delivery, pickup, swap. They don't have to wait because you're using multiple dumpsters when you're replacing a roof, and you've got to stay on track to finish that job. So that, and then picking up all the nails and screws.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And I think commercial real estate.
Okay.
There's a lot of commercial buildings going up and a lot that are being renovated. And again, just that same day service, 6 days a week. We operate on Saturdays as well.
Sure.
6 days a week. And then probably property management companies as well.
Okay. When we talk about taking over something and putting your fingerprints on it, it's a franchise, but you obviously want it to feel like yours as well. One of the biggest parts of that is the hiring process. How difficult was it for you and Peter to start hiring people for these services that you guys offer, but also kind of building the plane while you're flying it?
No, that's great. I love your questions. Our trucks are built a little smaller, so you do not need a CDL license
Oh, okay.
to drive them. So that's huge.
Greg from Facebook, that answers your next question. He asked if
Okay.
you're looking for drivers and if you need a CDL. So
Thank
there
you,
go.
Greg. Yes,
Yeah,
please
okay.
contact Jimmy or go to our website. We're always looking for wonderful people to join our team. I think the team building process has been a challenge, like it
Mhm.
has for a lot of people. Finding the right people who enjoy their work, feel that they're contributing.
Was it
But
difficult for you at all to take your hands off the wheel and let somebody, literally and figuratively, I guess, to let somebody else do this for you?
well, I don't know if anyone else is doing it for us. My husband and I still are pretty hands-on. I mean,
Sure.
I answer the phones. I just came back. I've been answering the phones all morning. He's constantly working with the drivers
Mhm.
to dispatch, to be at the most efficient that we
Sure.
can. So I think we'll always have our hands in it. But I know our corporate office had said you want to work on the business, not in it.
Yeah.
He drove the truck the first year, and he's not a good driver. So it was so good that we got him out. And I took all of the calls the first year. But you know what? That's part of the fun too, is just kind of thinking back to when you began
Sure.
and what you've been able to build. But we have a great team in place now. We call our drivers our dumpster delivery experts.
I like that. Okay.
And then our gals who assist me in answering the phones, et cetera, are dumpster consultants.
Okay. Was that a been there, dump that thing, or was that
Yeah.
okay? I didn't know if that was you guys thing. What is something that you have enjoyed the most about this, and what is something that has been a little maybe more tedious that than you thought it would be when you first started?
Sure. Well, I mean, I get such a kick out of meeting new people
Hmm.
and talking to people on the phone. We're not just order takers. When people call, we want to get to know them. We ask more questions than they do. What are you working on? Where would you like it placed on your driveway?
It's a relationship.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we don't just drop a dumpster off. It is specifically where they want it. We give them a window of time as to when it'll be there and when we pick up. We're keeping in touch throughout. So I mean, some people are adorable. I talked to
Yeah.
a man this morning, just a character, and then meeting people out in the community.
Yeah.
Um,
You do a ton of networking.
yeah, yeah,
How has that kind of changed the way you've done business since you started doing networking?
sure.
Unfortunately, meeting people like Dan DeSavia at Pixel Fire Marketing.
He's all right. No, Dan's one of the first people I met because
Yeah.
we joined our local remodeling group, and he's a dynamo. The first meeting was at the former Pixel Fire office, and I had a great feeling immediately.
Mhm.
Again, we're all business owners having really a lot of fun with what we do and
Sure.
earning a living. And
That's the last nice thing we'll say about Dan DeSavia on this
you
podcast.
are so, sorry, Dan.
How has networking changed your
Yeah.
business?
You know what? It is really powerful. And
Mhm.
my husband, I joke, I would say, we got to get you out of the basement working on contractor spreadsheets because he's so analytical.
Sure.
And this year he has really dove in, I guess, and he is out there networking. I never see him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a riot.
Pete, we miss you.
and I've always done it, but the power of people.
Sure.
You don't go out there thinking we're going to get a sale.
Right.
Develop relationships. Human connection is so good for our mental health.
Yeah.
You could sit behind your desk all day and probably do pretty well with your business, but no, you've got to get out there and meet people. And then it feels great to know that you can recommend folks for their businesses
And it
too.
goes back to what we talked about earlier. If you send it out there, it's probably
Mhm,
coming back
mhm.
tenfold as well.
Yeah.
We're catching up with Sue Maier. Her and her husband Peter own Been There, Dump That Omaha. It's a local container facility where you can dispose of items at. They offer several different options. We talked a lot about what you do. If somebody's looking to rent a container or use your services, how can they get a hold of you?
You betcha. Well, you can call us. Our business direct line is 402-884-4014. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, that's a
mention
phone number. Kids, Google what that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can go on our website. You can fill out the form there. You can text me. Again, we want to make the process as easy as possible. If you need something, we usually can go through the whole process with you literally in about 10 minutes. Then we take payment and then we keep in touch via text. Very seamless.
What is we've seen the growth of Omaha, the explosion happening in Gretna right now, the renaissance of Elkhorn. There's a ton of money being dumped into North and South Omaha to revive those communities as well. Have you guys seen that as well? Is there an even amount of business being distributed throughout the city for your company?
Well, we are seeing a lot more business out west.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Sure. Because of new construction?
Yeah, and maybe once they've gotten to the point where the house is built and the homeowner is renovating or they're putting more final touches on it. We worked with a commercial contractor on a beautiful townhome development
Sure.
out west, and it's just beautiful. So there's so much. That's the thing. There's so much opportunity. This is such an exciting time to be in Omaha.
I agree. Do you have a favorite thing that you found that's been thrown away?
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask that one. The funny thing is, I am a scavenger.
Sure.
I love going thrifting. And so my friends will ask me sometimes, have you found anything fun? We have a lot down at 60th and Q Streets near River City Recycling.
Yeah.
I don't get down there enough. The first year, again, when Peter was driving, there was somebody in the dumpster.
Oh, no.
When he went to pick it up. He was alive.
Sure. Okay. Whew.
He was
Okay.
alive. He was dumpster diving, and Peter said, "Sir, I really need to pick this dumpster up
Yeah.
now." And he said, "Just give me 10 more minutes." He did end up getting out. And then we've seen some little critters like raccoons,
Sure.
et cetera. They're alive as well, which is
Mhm.
wonderful. And we just open the dumpster and they kind of leave.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, bye guys. There's
we-
just a few items that I should mention we can't accept.
That's my next question. Go ahead.
Tires, dirt, concrete, unless it's separate in one of those small containers.
Mhm.
Railroad
Why is that?
ties.
Just because it needs to be disposed?
Yeah, they
Okay.
want to have that separate. Railroad ties. The only appliances are refrigerators and freezers because of
The metal. Yeah.
and the Freon, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And then their usual
You can
suspects
accept those, correct?
cannot.
Cannot.
Those are
Okay.
the only appliances. And
Gotcha.
then wet paint, oil, biohazard items. We can take dried paint cans.
What is the I guess relationship building process like with landfills and recycling? You mentioned the one off 60th and Q. Is that something that's already built in just because you're showing up with it? Is it something you kind of had to establish as time has gone on? What does that look like?
No, that's great, Jimmy. I love your questions. No, I mean, again, we don't want to just use them as a service.
Mhm.
We want to enjoy them as a partner. So Peter in particular goes down there, brings donuts,
Mhm.
candy throughout the year, and just chats with them to say, how is our team doing?
Sure. It's a great
are we-
resource for feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And what kinds of new policies have been implemented? So it's very important.
I'm sure if I asked you this question, asked Peter this question, probably get two different answers. But what's your favorite thing about what you guys do at Been There, Dump That?
I think, again, just every day is new.
Mm.
Even if you're working with a repeat customer, you have no idea what's kind of coming at you. And it's just making sure that you definitely recommend the best size dumpster for
Mhm.
that project, for that individual or company. And then I do think the networking is really fun.
Sure.
Just uncovering new partners.
Is Omaha home now?
It is right now.
Is
I
it?
don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
our son just graduated college, Indiana University last year.
Sure.
He's working in New York City. Did not see himself there. Our daughter's graduating from Lincoln next month and moving to Chicago.
Okay.
That I'm thrilled by.
Yeah.
My 92-year-old dad and 90-year-old mom are still living
Sure.
in the suburbs, so I'm going to be spending a lot of time there. We did tell our kids, we will probably come visit you, but you'll have to come see us.
Sure.
We
Understandable.
love
Yeah.
Omaha.
Okay. Well, that is Sue Maier with Been There. Dump That. If you need a container to remove any of the items she didn't list that they don't dispose of, get a hold of her. One more time, phone number and website are?
Phone number is 402-884-4014. The website's kind of long. I think it's Omaha-BeenThereDumpThat.com. Just, I think Google Been There Dump That Omaha.
And it's
it'll
Bin,
come up.
BIN. Been There,
BIN,
Been
yeah.
There, Dump That. That's Sue Maier. We kind of covered a lot. Is there anything about Been There, Dump That we haven't mentioned that people should know about?
No, you're amazing. Thank you.
I agree with that sentiment. I am amazing. This podcast is amazing as well. Thank you for watching today. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to us. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, sponsored by Pixel Fire Marketing, Pyramid Contractors. We'll see you in the morning.
Thank you.